Hello everyone and welcome back. So for today's video I'm going to visit the Twilight Saga and take a look at the Cullen family, ranking them in order from weakest member to the strongest. The Cullens are also known as the Olympic Coven and to this date have 9 members, originally beginning the series with 7. The Cullens are quite powerful collectively but also have their own individual traits and abilities that contribute to how effective they are in battle and as vampires in general. So let's not hang around any longer and rank every member of the Cullen family from weakest to strongest. Number 9. Esme Cullen. Coming in at number 9 and probably to nobody's surprise is Esme Cullen. Although playing an integral role in the emotional and maternal support of the coven, Esme is probably the least physically formidable. She is skilled in combat from training with the other members of the coven, but that was only from necessity in order to properly prepare for the ongoing threats throughout the series. However, despite that, she has no interest in becoming a skilled vampire, as her past is marked by personal tragedy, something that would have hardened many. Instead, they have fostered a profound resilience and an ability to find hope and joy in Esme's vampire life. This background makes her uniquely equipped to understand and support others going through difficulties. As I've said, it's no surprise she's in at number 9 on this list, but it doesn't mean she isn't effective in other ways. Number 8. Rosalie Hale. Following on from Esme, we have Rosalie in at number 8. Despite just being above Esme in this list's ranking, there is indeed a vast difference between the two vampires in terms of strength and overall power. She is a formidable fighter, capable of taking on powerful adversaries. Her physical prowess is evident in various confrontations throughout the series where she holds her own alongside her family members. Rosalie's true edge, however, lies in her tactical thinking. She approaches situations with a level of caution and strategic thought that sets her apart. Rosalie has a dark and painful past of her own, which reflects heavily on her life as a vampire. She was assaulted and left for dead, which resulted in Carlisle finding her and changing her. She took her revenge in a well thought out attack, showing no mercy when she slaughtered her victims one by one. Rosalie takes this aggressive nature into battle, which benefits her greatly when opponents underestimate her. Number 7. Renesmee Cullen. The latest and what appears to be the final member of the Olympic Coven, Renesmee comes in at number 7 and for what I believe is a good reason. Now, I know there might be arguments to place her last because she's so young, but you can't deny how powerful she actually is, and there's no telling what her potential could be given the fact she's harnessed her powers so fast. She appears to be able to fly in the movies, or maybe it's just an incredible leap, but she does not have that trait in the books. However, she can transmit her thoughts and memories through touch, has the best of both vampire and human traits, is incredibly fast, strong and agile, and as I said, by the time she reaches full maturity at 7 years, there's just no telling how powerful she can actually become. Number 6. Emmett Cullen. Emmett is literally like the Cullens' version of Felix. He is so physically strong it's frightening. He is one of the fastest vampires in the coven, just behind Edward and Jasper, and is incredibly agile for his size. Despite placing 6th on this list, he would still be the strongest vampire in terms of his physicality alone. But as we know, sometimes you need more than physicality. Sometimes, for everything else, there's Emmett. Emmett is very resilient and never backs down from a fight, often embracing it, as we see when he was hunting Victoria in Eclipse. He's a natural born fighter, and it shows in his aggressive stance in battle. Although he doesn't have a supernatural gift, he more than makes up for it in his sort of enforcer role for the Cullens. He's also one of my favourite vampire characters from the series. Number 5. Carlisle Cullen. Like Renesmee, I'm sure there's some of you who might question why Carlisle is at number 5 on this list, but to be honest, he's kind of in the middle in terms of the strongest and weakest, whatever way you choose to look at it. He's not the fastest or the strongest in terms of combat skill, but he can hold his own and be quite effective, although his encounter with Arrow in Alice's vision didn't exactly turn out so well for him. Carlisle's biggest strength is his ability to refrain from the overwhelming entrapment of bloodlust. Not only can he resist blood in general, he can treat open wounds, have blood on his hands, even have it splash onto his face, and still, it's as if it's just water before him. This is incredibly important when guiding his family through their own fight with the temptation of human blood, as the Cullens choose to drink animal blood only. His experience is just unrivaled, and he's a huge asset to his coven. His compassion for human life also displays his respectful nature as a vampire, going against the grain of the natural killers label they are painted with. Number 4. Bella Swan. Despite her supernatural gift being defensive instead of offensive, Bella is still one of the most powerful vampires in the coven, coming in at number 4. There's no telling just how effective her shield can be in terms of how vast she can project it in battle. As the book continues, she becomes more efficient in harnessing her power and is able to block out all of the Volturi's offensive gifts, including Jane's power of pain, something that infuriated the latter. She also develops the ability to let her shield down completely by choice, allowing Edward to finally read her thoughts, which further highlights the potential of such a powerful gift. She is incredibly fast, agile, strong, and can produce a devastating physical offense when working with others, despite her mopey attitude most of the time, resulting in her being hard to actually like as a character from a personal standpoint. Bella is seriously underrated in how powerful a vampire she actually is. Number 3. Jasper Hale. In at number 3 is Jasper Hale, one of the most powerful vampires in the whole series, let alone the Olympic Coven. Jasper really has it all. A wealth of experience in fighting combat, a military background, he's super strong, super agile, and is tied with Edward for the fastest vampire of the Coven. Jasper took charge of training in preparation for the arrival of the Volturi and what seemed to be an inevitable fight. Jasper's most notable power is his ability to manipulate the emotions of those around him. He can calm someone down, ease tension in a room, or incite fear in adversaries, making his ability particularly useful in various situations, from diffusing conflicts to gaining an upper hand in combat scenarios. This skill does not involve mind control, but rather the subtle adjustment of others' emotional states. Number 2. Edward Cullen. So Edward comes in at number 2, and I believe rightly so, and here's why. He's the fastest out of all the Cullens and incredibly strong, especially for someone who doesn't drink human blood. It's more so about his will to protect those he loves that gives him that added edge over so many others. Edward has the ability to read a person or a vampire's mind without any physical touch, giving him a huge advantage in almost every aspect, including combat. He was able to predict Jasper's moves and direction during their spar from reading his mind, despite Jasper being a more skilled and experienced fighter. Edward is highly sought after by Arrow for this ability, as the latter can use his own mind-reading gift by touch only, whereas Edward does not need to. I know he's the front face of Twilight, but in terms of raw power, I don't think fans give him enough credit. Number 1. Alice Cullen. Yes, at number 1 we have, in my opinion, the strongest, most effective vampire of the Cullen, Alice. She really does have an array of talents that place her atop of this list. Alice is incredibly agile, probably the most agile out of the majority of vampires in the whole series. She is lightning quick, and her reflexes are second to none. She is incredibly skilled in combat and performs acrobatic eye-catching moves in order to subdue or even avoid her opponents. However, despite all of that, what makes Alice so special and so powerful is her supernatural gift, the gift of foresight or precognition. This precognition is not absolute, as her visions are based on decisions that individuals are currently making, meaning the future can change if those decisions change. Despite this limitation, her ability provides invaluable insights to future events, allowing the Cullens to anticipate and prepare for various potential outcomes, which they have done so more than once. Probably the most notable vision they prepared for would be the impending arrival of the Volturi, which actually prevented them from all being wiped out by Arrow's unannounced arrival.